want to share with you today 5 things that I think should be on your transitional season checklist. This will be beneficial to you as an individual, but it'll also be beneficial to you if you're the owner or the leader of an organization, a business, a company, or a team. So let me give them to you because I believe the analogy of taking a trip fits transition fairly well. We're here, we want to be here, and there's a process we have to engage in. Sometimes it's a trip we plan, sometimes it's a trip that we're forced to take because of the change of circumstance. So in this season that we're all in right now, let me just share what I call my transition checklist. Here's number 1. I call it the baggage check. It's important for us to travel as light as we can. In my experience of traveling overseas and across this country, traveling light is better. It's better than dragging all kinds of things with me that ultimately I don't wind up using anyway. They just wear me out on the trip trying to keep up with them. And this is a great opportunity for us to unpack. Maybe there are issues from previous seasons that we can now address and we can deal with them so we don't take them with us any further. As leaders of businesses, companies, organizations, and teams, there may be some issues that we've known were there. We've just not taken the time to deal with them. And transitional seasons often provide that opportunity. So the baggage check is a big deal. Take time. Use this opportunity to unpack and travel lighter into the next season. You'll be glad that you did. Don't drag stuff with you that you don't need. That's the first thing on the transition checklist, the baggage check. Here's the second thing on the checklist, the identity check. Almost any trip we take these days, some form of identification is necessary to validate that we are who we say we are. Well, guess what? Transitional seasons are a great opportunity for us to solidify our sense of identity, apart from circumstances, positions, titles. Anyone been told that you're an essential worker or a non-essential worker during this particular season that we're in? Yes, if you don't have a clear and healthy view of who you are as an individual on the inside, apart from those things, these can be very distressing times. Transition gives us an opportunity to validate our identity. This is also true of our organizations, companies, and teams. It's an opportunity to remind ourselves who we are and why we exist. It's a great opportunity to get back to the fundamentals to be sure we're being true to who we are. Here's the third thing on my transition checklist, and I call it the purpose check. Why are we going here? What is the purpose of this trip? Now, you may have heard me share this before, but there's a twofold purpose of every transitional season. It's going to expose things that are hindering us or that we don't need, and it's going to offer to establish things that are essential for us to get where we're planning to go. It's how we respond to that that is the big deal. I will tell you this, when we understand the purpose of a season, it makes the season easier to deal with. When we know that there is a purpose, it makes it easier to embrace the processes necessary to see that purpose fulfilled. Every transitional season is going to have a purpose. Identifying that purpose and embracing the process to achieve it makes this season meaningful and not a waste of time. Here's the fourth thing on the checklist. I call it the priority check. This is the perfect opportunity for us as individuals and as organizations, companies, and teams to evaluate, to assess what are our priorities. Transition does a lot of things, but one thing it will do is expose what we value. It will bring to light things that truly matter to us and things that maybe don't matter as much. It will expose that, and it gives us the opportunity for us to evaluate and assess our priorities and to realign them when necessary. It helps us get back to the basics. It helps us get first things first and remind ourselves of what actually matters regardless of the season. So the priority check is one of the big opportunities that every transitional season offers us. Here is the fifth one, and I call this one the itinerary check. Where are we going? Or let me put it another way. Where do we want to be on the other side of this season? Transitional seasons give us the opportunity to evaluate where we want to be. Where do we want to go? What is the vision for the next season? And the reason that that matters, knowing where you're going, is a big deal because it affects the choices and decisions that you make in the journey. If you're unclear or you don't know where you want to be, there's no clear vision for what's coming or where you want to go, then that makes decision making much more difficult. The itinerary check is a big deal. Be sure that you know, where do we want to be on the other side of this season? That's true as an individual, but it's certainly true for our businesses, organizations, companies, and our teams. Let's do the itinerary check. Where do we want to be? And then let's chart our course accordingly. There are 5 things that I put on my transitional season checklist, and you could even word these as 5 opportunities that every transitional season offers us. As with most opportunities, they're only valuable if we choose to lay hold of them. Don't let these slip by. Use this transitional season for your business, company, organization, or team, or yourself as an individual to follow this checklist. Here they are one more time. The baggage check, the identity check, the purpose check, the priority check, and the itinerary check. Make sure you include these on your transitional checklist and take advantage of these 5 opportunities. If you do, it's going to make the trip a whole lot better.